Hi, everybody. It's Monday, January 23rd. Welcome to Live Chats with Maggie and Bunny. Today, we're going to talk to you for a little bit about the topic when life gets difficult. How do you handle it when life gets difficult? When things are going along smoothly and all of a sudden there's a big bump in the road and your faith is tested, what you believe is challenged. How do you handle that? What do you do? One thing that I have learned in my journey is to pause, to just pause, take a break, take a breath, be very mindful that this circumstance that I'm in right now that feels bumpy, usually feels yucky, it's temporary. And I remind myself that a temporary situation is not a permanent destination for me. And when we're able to disconnect from the emotion of when life gets hard, we often can get some clarity. But sometimes it might be just too dark for clarity to come in. And what do you do then to turn the light on? Bunny, what do you do when life gets dark?
Other than talking to you. But that is definitely something though, right? Reaching out to somebody for support, reaching out to a friend, reaching out to somebody who can kind of, for me, bring me out of that spin, or at least help remind me of some of the things that I know, some of the things that I learned. Because I know for me personally, sometimes those emotions can be really big, especially um right at the beginning. So right at the beginning when things are happening, when it feels like a gut punch, it feels like something has really happened. I can just spin out of control, and that monkey mind, as we often call it, can start just telling me things that aren't true, start bringing up things, from the past, or things that I think about are going to be in my future, and I can't see a way out of it. And so sometimes I do have to be reminded, no, it's okay. You're okay. And yes, you are the source for me for that. You're also the source for me for that, for the joy. So so that's good too. So when I have the joyous moments, you're the first person I reach out to. But definitely when I'm spiraling, I reach out for that life preserver, that hand up to help me keep my head up a little bit, and until I can do it on my own and do the reminder. So that's part of the things that I do,
Mm.
and it's pretty good for that. But there is training, that we have also done as well. And when I say training, I mean, kind of rewiring the conditioning that I have done throughout my life, and learning more healthy ways of doing, dealing with things and that sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And like you said, it's a learned behavior. And that's the one thing that you and I have talked about a lot is I was not born handling things the way I handle things now. And oftentimes people look at me and say, well, you got your stuff all together. So I just can't be like you. And I always quickly remind people, I didn't always have my shit together.
Mhm.
I'm no different than you are. But mindfulness has taught me how to rewire that thinking. My monkey mind used to spiral out of control too, and sometimes still does. But it's the practice of constantly bringing it back to what is real. And that's where the mindfulness training that I've gone through, and that's why I teach mindfulness, because we can retrain our mind. We can retrain those belief systems that have been instilled in us. We can retrain them to be something else. And I always encourage people that I work with to keep a positivity journal, if that's what you want to call it, or some kind of I am journal, so that in those moments of darkness, when you forget who you are, when you forget those things that you've accomplished, you can look back at those pages and be instantly reminded of, I am amazing. I am full of hope. You can write stories of times that a miracle happened for you, times that you did things amazingly and you were so proud of yourself. To write those things down, because when you're in that spiral, sometimes you can't find your way out of it. You can't find the light. So that little book can work like a lighthouse. The same
Mhm.
as there's lighthouses at sea to keep the ships from plowing into the rocks, we can create our own lighthouses in our life.
Yeah.
And that's one way that we can do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, as well, what I've often done is I'll ask my monkey mind, and Bunny will laugh at this because she's seen me do it. I'll ask my monkey mind to go stand in the corner for a little while, that I just need some time with you not talking to me. I'll say, monkey mind, I understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but can you just go over there? Because I got to commune with my soul for a minute. I got to think about what is actual truth. And when we feed ourselves truth, we're able then to be able to speak back to the monkey mind and say, I understand what you're telling me, but you might not have the whole picture. Is there a time when you can think about that, Bunny, that how that worked for you?
Well, for me, because being a feeler, so my stuff doesn't come to me through visions or seeing or hearing. So being a feeler is a lot of times I do go get caught up with the feelings, but I do when you talk about the times where you put away the monkey mind or you put away your ego or whatever, if you can give it a name or something, I also do give gratitude and say thank you for trying to protect me, because that is what it's trying to do. It's trying to
Right.
protect you from perceived threats. And so I say thank you for showing up. I give it gratitude and I say I don't need you right now. So let's hang out, maybe put you in the back seat of the car, whatever it is, but just, kind of just for a moment. And then I feel into the situation and I feel what my feelings are telling me. And I remind myself, even when I'm having those out of control feelings, that feelings are temporary. I think that's the biggest thing about mindfulness and the spiritual, is knowing that if I am having quote unquote negative feelings or feelings that, are unpleasant, things that I don't want to be feeling in that moment, that there's a reason for that and that they're still valid. And but that they also are temporary and I'm not going to feel this way forever. And one thing that I like to kind of, compare this to is in a moment where you have extreme joy and you're laughing, or you have this extreme joy over, a surprise party or whatever the case may be. That is also temporary. So that joyful feeling, you don't feel it every second of every day. And we like that, we like those feelings, but we don't feel that every day. A lot of times we feel even and neutral. And so when you're talking about speaking to my soul, a lot of times that's what will happen. I'll have that contentment, that kind of warm feeling, that just feeling of, just kind of neutral. And that is what will remind me that I can get back to that place again of neutral. And I could feel joy again and I might feel sadness, but it's only temporary. So that's the big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Another thing that comes to mind for me is the fact that when life gets difficult, we often think we're powerless. But for me personally, I find at those moments of life when things are difficult, do you know that's really when I have the most power?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm calling on my angels, guides, creator to help me. So all of those angelic beings, all of those forces of energy are coming to me to help, because I'm saying, help, I can't do this. It's hard. Life is hard. And they're all coming.
Hmm.
So that's really when I'm the most powerful. It's when I feel the weakest that I really have the most power, because I have those support systems in my spiritual life that are coming to help me. So I would want to remind those people who are listening today, who might be at a difficult place in your life, to call out for your ancestors, guides, creator, and angels to come and help you. Because at those times when you think life is the most difficult and you can't do it anymore, that's really when you have the most power. That's when you have the most support from your circle, from your
Mhm.
tribe of spiritual beings. So don't be afraid of life when it's difficult. Yes, it's hard work because you have to train your mind to get back into that positive thought life. Yes, it's hard work, but it's temporary. And knowing that it's temporary, you can do it. It's
Yeah.
like I'm taking on a little program that's a 3-day program. And in that training for this program, somebody said in the course, it's okay because you can do anything for 3 days. And it's kind of like that with things get difficult at life. Things in life get difficult, but not forever.
Yeah.
So it's difficult right now. It's not going to stay that way.
Hmm.
So that can be part of how you bring yourself out of it, to remind yourself that you do have light.
Yeah.
It's not going to stay dark forever.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to turn that light on. If you need a little help, then you ask a friend to help you put your light on.
Yeah. And
So,
sometimes I can't reach out to you. So say that it's in the middle of the night, you're sleeping. I have so I do have some of my things that I do is try to bring in a little bit of levity in my life, and I'll mindlessly watch a comedian on YouTube or something on Netflix, a funny show that I know will make me laugh. Even if I don't feel like laughing, I will pull that out, because getting from complete sadness to feeling desperation, or feeling complete darkness, to having just going up one little step, and maybe having just that feeling just a little bit better, will remind me for at least that little bit of time that it is temporary, and I
yeah.
will get better. Yeah.
So, as we close this chat today, I just want to remind you to be mindful. And in that mindful moment of when life is difficult, just pause and allow your soul some time to remind you that everything is okay. And you can do what I do sometimes and just talk to yourself and say, we got this. We got this. And know that you are not alone, that
Yeah.
your guides and ancestors and support is always with you. So at those moments when you feel the most alone,
Mm.
know that you are not alone and you are never alone.
Yeah.
So that's it for Chats with Bunny and Maggie. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.